I want to say a quick thank you to now over 1,100 super cool people subscribing to this channel. I hope I can create useful tutorials and inspiring and entertaining videos for you guys to enjoy. Today I'll finally be getting to a tutorial that I meant to do a very long time ago. I am extremely sorry. I'll be demonstrating how to create an object in Blender and how to put it in The Sims 4. There will be timestamps below so you can jump to whatever point you might need, as well as links to everything I will be using. Just a disclaimer, I am no way a pro at making custom content, as I am still learning myself. Most of what I've learned is self-taught and through written tutorial. A couple years back when I was first learning this, I would have loved to learn through a bunch of videos, but there truly isn't enough out there right now, so I hope I can contribute in some way. Lastly, if you plan on following this tutorial step by step, I would recommend you watch it first so you can get an idea of what you're doing before you go ahead and download what you need. Kind of like viewing a path before you walk it, if that makes sense. It might help make things less overwhelming. I promise you it's not as hard as it seems. Just give it some time and you'll get it. You'll be fine. It's okay. I'm now realizing that making tutorials is extremely hard, so bear with me. Starting off in Blender 2.80, I will be making the object. I'm sorry that this is sped up. I really didn't want to make this video super long because I feel like it scares off people from wanting to do the tutorial. I know if I'm watching something and I see it 2 hours long, I'm just like, I want to learn, but I don't want to commit that much. But if you do want a longer video of how to do this, and you don't mind it being upwards an hour long, then comment below, and if I see enough people wanting it, I will definitely do that. I think this modeling process took about 15 to 20 minutes tops. It's a pretty simple model, so once you get used to it, you'll fly by this like no problem. Once you're finished creating your model, save the texture and then save your model as an object, like I'm doing here. Now in the Sims 4 Studio, click on Create 3D Mesh and then click on Object. Here is where we will pick an object from the game to replace. It's best to pick something close to what you're making, so in my case, it's a pot. Once you've picked something, click on Next and you will be prompted to save the file. This will be your file, so the file that you'll be putting in your mods folder and the file that you would be sharing with others if you were to do so. I named mine Sieory_pot, just to keep it simple. Once you've done that, go ahead and name your object and put the description, and you could put the price. I like to do this first because oftentimes I forget. Then clicking into Mesh, go ahead and export it. You'll want to name this something like Sims Object. Now hopping into Blender 2.70, you'll want to open the Sims Object blend file we just exported. Then go to Import and bring in your object. Here, you will size your object down to how you want it and make sure that you've lined it up with the bottom of the Sims mesh. It turns out that this object ended up being a lot bigger than what I thought it was going to be in game. You'll see that later. Now grab the Sims object and move it to the side out of the way. We are going to join these meshes together. Click on your object and then hold Shift and click on Sims object. Make sure you are always doing it in this order, always yours first. Now go ahead and click Join. Now entering edit mode, click on this little button in the bottom. This will basically give us super X-ray powers. Making sure everything is deselected, we want to press B on our keyboard and select only the Sims mesh. Then press delete and delete the vertices. Now go to Save As. I named this file pot joined so that I know that it's the file that I joined. We now need a shadow mesh thing. Click on this white bit and delete it. With our mesh being selected, change this cut number to 0. And once again we will go to Save As. I named this pot shadow. Now let's bake the mesh. In this little camera icon, make sure you have this as ambient occlusion. Then I like to check this normalize button. I'm unsure if it actually helps, but I find that it does. Now over in this little world icon, I put the samples to at least the 20s. I get pretty good results there with short render times. After doing that, go back to the camera icon and click Bake. Now we wait for it to bake. This took about 2 minutes for me. Now go down to Image and save your baked image. In Photoshop, I am grabbing my texture file and my baked file, and I'm putting them together so that the baked is the shadow. You can kind of see what I'm doing here. It's very simple. Coming back to the Sims 4 Studio, import your joined object. Make sure you click on this little drop-down menu and import to the other meshes. For some reason, this object didn't call for a shadow mesh. In most cases it will. Where it does call for it, you would want to put the shadow object we created. Under Texture, go ahead and import your texture. Here you can also change the swatches. I forgot to show it, but you can go into tags and edit the info how you see fit. Alright, we're just about done. This part is a little weird to explain, so just watch closely. Clicking up here into Warehouse, we want to find these two weird gray DST images. We want to replace these images with blanks. You'll find the download to these in the description below. Clicking on the first one, go to Import and locate the blanks. You'll probably have to switch PNG to DDS if you don't see it. The first one always seems to be a bump image, so I'll choose the blank bump file. Now to do the same with the next one, which should be the blank spec file. Because this is a basic tutorial, I won't be getting too deep into these files. And that's it, you're done! Go ahead and save your package and put this into your mods folder. I recommend you making a folder within your folder named My Custom Content or My CC so that you can locate it easier. Here are the final results for this object. As you can tell on the left, it's a lot bigger than what I had planned. That's okay if it's a bit bigger. It's actually a really easy fix. I will just go into Blender and size it down and then re-import that Blender file into the Sims 4 Studio. The smaller version is just me manually making it smaller in-game. Again, I don't want to go too in-depth with these DST image files, but I found that if I were to put the bump map in both of those gray files, it makes this kind of glossy look to it. It's not the best way of making a glossy object, but that's just a quick way if I were to do it. This whole entire process for me takes maybe at tops 30 minutes if I wasn't rushing. I know it might look like a lot of steps, but if you just follow it through, you will get it. It's really easy, I promise. I really hope that this video helps you do this, and if you have any questions on this video, comment below and I'll try to answer them. But please, if you have a question about Blender itself, like say how to rotate an object, I recommend you Googling it first instead of asking me, just because I might not get to you in time and you'll get a much faster response and a better response from Google. If this video was helpful, please leave a like so I know to make more in the future. And if you are looking for more videos on The Sims and Blender, be sure to subscribe as I will be posting more. Good luck on making your custom content, and I hope you have lots of fun. Bye!